Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show we are going to have Ian. Ian is from London in the UK, so let's see what Ian has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello. Yes, I can hear you now. Hello Ian, how are you?
I'm good.
Cool. Okay Ian, so just before we start the game, so tell me where you're from.
I'm Ian and I'm in southeast London, New Cross.
That's amazing. And what do you do for a living?
I'm a civil servant. I work on aviation and climate change policy, so trying to get aviation to cut its carbon emissions.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Do it.
Wow. And what's the most interesting thing about your job?
The thought that you're doing something good. I mean, you're a tiny, well, I feel like I'm a tiny cog in a machine, but I know I'm doing something good,
Sure.
you know, in a small way.
Right. And how long do you have been living in London for?
On and off all my life. I'm sort of London born, but
Yeah.
Moved out when I was 7. But I've always studied here, I've always worked here, so in effect,
Okay.
Londoner.
You're a proper Londoner.
Even though I don't sound like it.
And you always lived in Southeast London, or?
So yeah, sort of. My mum was from round here anyway, and she said, you know, they moved away when they were going to start a family, and she said, I can't believe you've ended up back there.
Right, Ian. Am I saying your name right, Ian?
Yep.
Yeah, perfect, Ian. Right, so welcome to William and the Magic Box. Lovely box full of random fun questions, okay? What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to play a music just for us to relax and get the mood before the first question. Are you ready?
Yep, fine by me.
Let's do it. Do you like the music?
Yep, you're a good mover.
Go, just trying. First question. What is the worst thing one can say on a first date, in your opinion?
Oh, blimey. Probably talking about exes. I think, you know, that's rude and kind of irrelevant. You know, you need to be in the moment with the person you're with, I think. Yeah, that sort of thing. It's been a long time since I had a first date, so I can't remember. Yeah,
But
just...
It's interesting to say that, because when this question come along, most of the people, they say the same as well. Like talking about their exes is not like a nice approach. It means like you're still attached to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or also, actually, one of the worst things is, you know, if somebody says, oh, I think I love you at the end of a date, you know, that's a bit weird after only a couple of hours. But
that's true. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Ooh, it's a bit creepy.
All right, I used to date your brother or something, you know.
My God.
Not that I have a brother.
Oh my God, that's something like, that's a risk. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Will put me off straight away. Someone says that.
Yeah.
Right.
There's so many things.
Yeah, actually, yes. The other day, I had someone else on the show. Actually, he lives in London, but he's Greek, and he said to me, the same question came along, and he said, the worst thing someone can ask the first date if you are top or bottom. He made me laugh.
You should have discussed that before you meet, shouldn't you?
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of like, yeah, just make sure that before you get there, you know, it's too late, already facing the person in front of you.
Yeah. I suppose it could be worse. You could be just about to go to bed for the first time. So are you top or bottom?
Imagine. Could be a good thing or could be a disaster.
Yes, absolutely.
Right, let's go for another question. Let's do it. Let's do it. Are you feeling happy today?
Yeah, fairly. It's Friday. That's always good. Yeah.
Yeah. Always bring good vibes. Right, Ian, how do you think you'll die, or how would you like to die if you could choose?
I've got a really dirty answer for that. Or, if I could choose the way I'd like to die, I'd like to be suffocated between a rugby player's thighs.
Wow, you'd go.
Yeah.
That would be a wish.
Very much so, yeah.
That's funny.
I mean, obviously, I quite like to practice that without dying, but yeah, if I could choose, it would be that, or just quietly. I guess in my sleep is a sensible answer. Certainly don't want to have a horrible accident or anything like that. But
Right.
I don't know. But
Something quick, fast and quick, just like.
yeah, just slip away into the background. I think I'm a quite quiet person. I don't really think a dramatic exit would suit me, really.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's go for another question. Yeah, let's do it. Before the next question, in your opinion, what's the best and the worst of living in London?
The best is there's so many things to do. Even if you don't do them, knowing they're on your doorstep is really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it is impossible to be bored in London.
That's true.
I mean, even during lockdown, I mean, I'm not a particularly going out person, but I've been fine. The worst is, I don't know, the expense of it, the poverty, I mean, there's so many things. Yeah, I guess the poverty and the expense and the increasing gentrification.
Yeah.
People are being forced out of their areas that they grew up in sometimes. So I think that's probably the worst thing. But I think the positives far outweigh the negatives.
Sure. Right. So let's get another question.
Okay.
What do you consider most romantic?
Just random acts of kindness, I think. I like being bought presents. I like to buy presents for people, not just birthdays and Christmas, but you see something, oh, they'll like that, and it's ideal for them, and giving them a gift. I think just being quiet in each other's company is nice, that you don't have to fill an empty space with empty words.
That's true.
You can just be quiet in each other's company and just know the other person's there. I think that's quite romantic in a way.
Sure, totally agree. I think so. I think that's the action itself. The feeling, the action itself, it just says a lot. Just being there. I think that your attention, it says a lot. It's it's attention. Right, yeah.
And these days, of course, being romantic is putting your phone down.
That's true. Yes, that's true. Like put it aside.
Yeah, very basic. Actually, that might be the worst thing on a date, is that you go to the Lewis and come back and they're on Grindr or something.
Oh my God, don't say that. Actually, I think somebody once told me that he was with someone on a first date, and he went to the toilet. When he came back, the guy was literally on Grindr. I was like, oops.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nowadays, yeah. Right, yeah, let's get another question.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm envious of your dancing skills, even when you're sitting down.
The thing is, when you are Brazilian, when you were born, you become a football player or you become a dancer. I'm not a professional dancer, but I've got more the moves of dancer than a football player. So there we go. It's in the blood.
Yeah.
Right. If you could go anywhere in the world right now, where would you go and why?
I don't know. I quite fancy New Zealand, just because it's as far away from the UK and America as you can get. I mean, obviously, COVID and everything has made that really bad, and I've never been there. But it's always appealed. Again, I like the perceived quietness of it. Actually, that's one thing I like about America is the size and the space. Although, of course, in cities you feel quite enclosed, but there's just so much of it that's wide. Actually, thinking back, that's one of the things I don't like about London, the claustrophobia. I mean, there are very, very few open spaces that you can really stretch out in. So I think New Zealand, A, because I've never been there, and B, it gets me away from Brexit and Trump and goodness knows what else. And their Prime Minister seems pretty cool as well. So
yeah.
I think that would be a good place.
Sure, cool, good answer. I'd like to go as well. I've never been there, I'd like to go. Let's go.
It's the flight that puts me off.
Yeah.
Being in the plane for hours, but yeah.
Great. Shall we go for another one?
Yeah, keep them coming.
Let's do it. Okay, next question. What was your worst footy mouth moment?
It's not quite, I don't know, I suppose it is a bit footy, but I once went to the Royal Vauxhall Tavern on August Bank Holiday. They have a gay sports day, which they raise money for charities like GMFA.
Okay.
And when I got there quite early, and I noticed a guy was changing, and I thought, oh, I think I've seen him in a video.
Okay.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Sort of video. And so I went up to him and just said, "Oh, are you in this video?" And he said yes. And then I couldn't think of what to say, because I just thought he's the most attractive person I've ever seen, ever, and probably still is. And I just wanted the ground to swallow me up, because I just couldn't think of what to say. And that was just so embarrassing. Yeah. You know, I just said, "Oh, I really enjoyed it." And he said, "That's why we make them." And I just couldn't think of what else to say, and it was just so horrible. I just went home and, it was horrible.
You're too impressed with his beauty.
Well, yeah, certainly with one aspect of him, but yes, he is very, very beautiful as well. And then I did a really, really bad thing in that I went through all the photos of the day, and then thought, that's who he is, and found out who he was, and then sort of, got chatting to him online. But I've still never seen him again. But he's a nice guy. Yeah. He's in America now, so he's safe from me, safe from my stalking him.
Right, let's go for another one. Let's do it.
Okay.
Right, next question.
Okay.
If your plane was going down, who would you call?
If I was on my own, I'd call Des, my partner and best friend. But I'd assume if I was on a plane, he'd be with me anyway. So, but yeah, if he wasn't with me, it'd be Des, definitely.
Your partner.
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you been together for?
What year is it now? 22 years.
Wow. Oh, wow. Impressive. My God, amazing. Right, let's go for another question.
Okay.
Let's do it. Right, next question. Yeah. What can make you cry and what can make you very happy?
I like to think I'm really calm, but I'm not. I get really emotional about things.
But you come across very calm. You come across very calm person. Like, will you talk? Yes.
Somebody said that to me once. They said, "Oh, you're like a swan. You just glide through." I thought, "You're joking. I'm a bag of nerves all the time."
You don't come across. Oh, you don't come across at all.
Well, if I'm talking about myself, it's a subject I know inside out.
There you go.
There's a few songs that can make me cry. One is "Small Town Boy" by Bronski Beat. There's one called "Home" by Depeche Mode that makes me cry, and one called "Emma" by Hot Chocolate, which is about a girl who commits suicide, and the singer Harold Brown just does this scream in the song, and it just sends shivers down my spine and can make me cry. But for laughing, it's comedy. I mean, it's an obvious answer, but there are things I can just watch over and over and over and over again. I have like 10 favourite comedy moments that I just never get tired of watching.
For example?
Let me see. Now I'm on the spot, aren't I? I'm trying to think of one that isn't, because I've got a very odd sense of humour. I'm trying to think of one that's quite acceptable to share, because I've got a very, I don't know what you'd call it apart from odd, but I find things funny that I wouldn't laugh at in real life, if that makes sense.
I see what I mean.
Yeah, there's one on a DVD about a documentary about Lauren Harries, made by Fallon, and there's a scene on that in the extras where Lauren's giving an acting class, and Keith tells her a scenario of working in a chip shop and trying to seduce a lesbian customer, or a customer tries, and it's just hysterical. I can watch that over and over and over again. And there's another one that used to be on YouTube. It was a series of cartoons called Jizz. It was done by somebody called Sienna Dienema, where they took the Gem cartoons from the 80s and redubbed them to, it was Gem and the holograms. So it's become Jizz and the mammograms, and it's really off colour, really adult and hysterically funny, but I don't think they're on there anymore.
Right.
And he also used to do revoice the Golden Girls. And there was another brilliant one about Valentine's Day. And they was the girls are sitting around the table, and Blanche comes in and says, well, we're not getting, no, Dorothy says to Blanche, we're not getting any on Valentine's Day. And Blanche says, no, that's Leslie talk. And that just cracks me up. I mean, it's really basic and crude and horrible, but that's what I'm like. I haven't got a very sophisticated sense of humour.
It's funny. When you have humour, it's just natural thing, doesn't it? There's no right or wrong, or it's just the way things are. Right. Are you enjoying the show so far, Jan?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
Very good. I'm glad to hear. Let's do another question. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, next question. What do you like the most about your best friends?
That they like me. I mean, that sounds like an obvious answer. But at school, I wasn't one of the popular kids. I think that's probably true, certainly in my day, of most lesbian, gay, bisexual children.
Sure.
You kind of, you isolate yourself, I think, as a protection mechanism.
Yeah.
And even now, I mean, with social media and whatever, you can have, 900 friends on Facebook, but, there are 2 or 3 that you could actually call real friends.
Yeah.
So it's the people that have stuck with me. I mean, I know I'm quite, I don't know what the word is, I'm quite hard work at times, and I'm aware of that. I have a lot of issues. I've got, suffer from depression quite a bit. But it's the people who stuck by me still, that people that accept me for who I am, I guess. There was a quote, actually I was thinking about this inspirational quote thing. There's something, I don't know if it was a meme or an actual thing from Winnie the Pooh, but there's a thing about Eeyore. And it says, even though he's sad and depressed, his friends still invite him along to stuff because that's how he is and they like him. And it's kind of something like that.
I understand.
The people that stuck by me obviously see something in me that perhaps I don't even see myself, and I really, really do appreciate that.
Absolutely, I'm the same as well.
Yeah.
I think when they're true friends, they see you in a way that no one sees you, and they don't judge you. They just accept the way you are. And
that's definitely the thing about judging. And also, I mean, I get quite envious of a lot of my friends. They all seem happier than me, and they all seem comfortable in their own bodies, and I'm not. And I don't know. I find it quite difficult. Making friends, I find quite difficult, particularly at my age. I mean, by now I should have met all the friends. When you're a kid, it's easy. You get, your friends with who's in your class or who's in your street. But I think, and it's again, maybe actually that's another negative thing about London. Because a lot of people are just sort of passing through London. It's quite hard to make friends.
That's true.
It's a very sort of transitional city that people are just here for a while.
They come and go. Yes, absolutely. I totally understand with you. But I think I understand your point about early ages. We were more kind of, like to say, genuinely open to make friends, like naturally. But I believe as well, Jan, that I think, as I said to you, nowadays, I think people, they call friends so easily, you know, they don't, for them, like, be friends is something that's like, you know, they say I love you easily, they say you are a best friend easily, but at the end of the day, you know, they're not. At the end of the day, it's just like you go out for a drink and, you know, they consider you a best friend or whatever. But I think if you have one or two friends, I think, you know, it's unfortunate. If, you know, like good friends, they are there. And not about making friends, about feeling the friendship, you know.
Yeah.
Because making friends, you can make friends, like, you know, even online or whatever, but I think like feeling the friendship itself, it's something that naturally, genuinely you feel. So I think I never put myself pressure on me, like, oh, I need to make friends, or, you know, for me, just it's a natural thing. When it happens, it happens, and when it doesn't, it just isn't meant to be. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people say, oh, you should get a hobby. It's like, but almost all the things I like are things you do on your own. So apart from the obvious. But,
no, I think it's at the end of the day, they're not again right or wrong or the way. You just need to be open. And when I learned that, I learned some before I was when I was younger, I had this pressure. I think because age as well, I had this pressure on me that you know, to have people around me to show my point of view, and if someone didn't like me for some reason, I was trying to prove, you know, that's. But I just learned that you could be the perfect person, but there's always going to be someone that doesn't like you for no reason, you know. There's like it's a spiritual thing. And when I took that off my shoulders, I felt so relieved. I was like, oh my God, that's true, you know. It doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter what you feel, it doesn't matter what you express yourself, there will be always someone that doesn't agree with you for some reason. And it's part of life as well. We need those people, you know, to make us grow and to make us understand that they're not like us. And yeah, I think it's all.
And actually building on that, I think, again, with the social media thing, things have got so tribal.
Yes.
And it's being able to accept that you have a difference of opinion with people and still be friends. I mean, I just find all of that, I mean, I'm guilty of it to an extent. You know, I can't understand people who voted Leave for Brexit and things like that. I can't understand people who support Trump or support Conservatives. And I'm quite vocal about that, but it's sort of, look, if you can still have a difference of opinion and still get on with people, but people just don't seem to have that mindset anymore. It's like there's a right way, and if you don't think like that, they cast you out, and I just find that really bizarre.
It is very bizarre. It is. I think it is bizarre, but some people, they can be very restricted, you know. If you don't like this, okay, I don't like you, you know, something like that. So yeah.
And although I can see the point of not wanting to expose yourself to that, you know, but also I think it's worth, I mean, I've tried to understand other people's point of views and things, but I'm so diametrically opposed to them. I just can't understand the mentality of somebody that would do something so self-sabotaging.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, back when I was growing up, I couldn't understand gay people that voted for the Conservative Party that were bringing in anti-LGBT legislation. I mean, that was just ludicrous. Yeah. And I just, however I try, I just can't empathise with those people.
Yeah. But anyway, at the end of the day, you just need to, you know, try to understand more people and, you know, try to put ourselves in other people's shoes, and
absolutely.
Yeah, I think
nobody knows the that other people have been on that have put them where they are at this moment. They don't know what's happened good or bad in the past.
That's true.
One thing I do try to do is try to take people at face value. You know, you can get on with somebody and then they might reveal something about themselves that is quite shocking, but it's like up until that point you still like them. And I find that sort of human psychology really interesting.
That's true.
Try to, you know, and if there is a difficulty, you know, if there is a really diametrically opposed thing, I don't like challenging it, because I just think it's a hiding to nothing. I just don't think you're going to convince anyone.
No. You're just going to lose your energy. It's going to be tiring, you know. So it's just the point of view. Yeah, let's go for another question.
Okay.
Let's do it. Okay, let's get another question.
Okay.
Where the most exotic place have you ever been?
One of the strangest was I went to Hong Kong, and Hong Kong is very British still. It's odd that you're sort of in a completely different country, but it's British.
Right.
But when we were there, we had a day trip and we went onto mainland China, and that was incredibly strange. It was the birthday of the founder of modern China, and I'm afraid his name escapes me. And we happened to be taken to the town he was from. So it was a national holiday, and people were milling about all over the place. And there were sort of 5 or 6 of us in our group. And there was me and an American guy. I'm 6'3", and he was taller than me. Anyway, we went out into this park and we got mobbed. All these people were just all over us and wanting to take photos with us and getting us to hold their babies. That was really bizarre because, they've never seen tall people who don't have black hair. I mean, that's not a racist statement, it's just a statement of fact, That in China they tend to be of shorter stature and they tend to have black hair. And maybe they just hadn't seen Caucasian people, I don't know. But it was just really weird. And for like 15 minutes, all these people taking photos. I've got a photo taken of me from behind with all these people around us and just sort of passing us their babies. And when we went back to the coat, they all started running after us. It was like being in the Beatles or something for 15 years.
In a way it was something nice, sweet as well, in a way,
Completely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same, people come to London, they want to take pictures with the policeman or the but it was just so strange. But that was a really, I mean, you can't get more exotic than that, where you go somewhere and you're like
a superstar.
Not a celebrity. I was going to say freak, but not freak. But you're just so unusual. You're just something people haven't seen before.
No, it's very interesting. Yeah, it's very interesting. But I'm afraid to say, after people watching this interview, you're gonna go around New Cross and everyone's going like, oh, this Ian from Willy the Magic Box. Oh, Ian. So you're gonna have the same experience again.
Well, I was going to say, people should come up to me in the street in London and embrace me. I'm quite open to that. As long as they're good looking, I'm quite open to that.
Oh. Right, I've got 3 questions left, okay? Wait.
Yep.
Okay, next question.
Okay.
If you could sit down with yourself when you're 13, what would you say? Which advice will you give to yourself?
Oh, goodness, so many. I think the main thing would be lighten up, just try and enjoy yourself. And that it's a cliche, but it's the phrase that was used in America a few years ago. There was this whole spate of LGBT teenagers committing suicide, and the thing was, it gets better, and it does. I think that's what I would say. The other thing, I don't know if people say it in Brazil, but in Britain, it used to be the cliche that people would say to you, your school days are the best days of your life. And
yeah.
I think that might be true if you're straight, but I think if you're growing up lesbian, gay, bisexual or trans, they're absolutely the worst days of your life, because kids, pick on difference, whether it's, your hair, you this, that or the other. But I think it's just saying to myself that it gets better and just sort of hold on. I think the best thing I can say.
No, I was about to say, I would tell myself, like, the only advice would say, okay, you go at some points in your life, you're going to be very happy, enjoy the most you can, but some points as well, you're going to feel very sad, and it's part of it. But at the end of the day, will pass. Both of them will pass. And when I look back, it's so true. Sometimes when you are in a very deep, down feeling, you think that's going to be forever, isn't it? You feel like, oh, it's going to be forever.
I know it all too well, yeah.
Yeah, but after, when you're out of it, you're like, oh my God, it's true, it's so true. It passed. It passed somehow. Of course, it's going to be there, not going to be, but it's going to, that feeling is going to go away for some reason. It will. Cool. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Just before the next question, how did you meet your partner?
Well, it was on the internet.
Oh,
So
wow.
probably one of the early days of that. There was this thing that used to be called IRC, Internet Relay Chat, and we just got chatting on there and met. It's quite funny, really, because he was in his previous relationship was an open one, and unbeknownst to me, I'd actually arranged a date with his partner.
Oh my
But
God.
he cancelled on me. I didn't know, he cancelled on me, and so so I said, oh, actually, I'm free this Friday, and so we met up instead. And actually, we broke the rule because no, as I say, I didn't know. I said, oh, do you know this guy? And mentioned his IRC name, nickname. And he said, oh yeah, that's my partner. Oh, okay, that's a small world. So had we turned up, or had he not cancelled on me, who knows what would have happened? But so that was kind of strange.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Just meant to be. Next question.
Apparently.
Who has been the most influential person in your life and why?
It used to be Morrissey, but now he's a horrible racist. It absolutely isn't. I don't know, there's people I admire a lot. Very big fan of John Waters, the film director. But I think in terms of influence over my life and sort of, this sounds really naff, but I just get inspired by seeing other LGBT people living their lives.
Okay.
And sometimes I feel envious because, as I say, I perceive them as all being happy, but it's just to think they went through similar things that I went through, and they're here and they're happy and they've come through it. And I just find that inspiring. I'm quite old-fashioned. I still believe in an LGBT community, and I still believe we're stronger together. When I was growing up, I was aware I was gay really young, and all I wanted to do was meet other gay people. And it's when I finally did at university, I realized they didn't want to know me, which was really upsetting. But it's kind of, you have to get past that and realise, well, I'm stating the obvious and everyone will know this, but as you become an adult, you've got to have more in common with people than just being gay.
That's true.
You've got to have similar values and outlooks and whatever. So I just take it from people in general. And people have told me that they admire me and see me as a role model, and I just find that quite weird.
It's not weird if they say they mean it.
Oh
just
yeah,
accept it.
I'm not disputing their claim at all. I just find, all I do is live my life.
You're just modest. You don't know how to deal with compliments.
I used to be really bad. If somebody messaged me on an app and said, "Oh, you're really sexy," I'd think, A, they've made a mistake, or B, it was a joke.
Okay, thank you.
No, I used to. I've kind of.
I see.
Years ago, that used to be my instant thinking. Obviously, I've got out of that habit of instantly deflecting any compliment. Now but it is hard work. If you're not used to it, it is hard work.
Right, last question, Jan. Let's do it.
Yes.
Okay, last question.
Okay.
How long can you go without checking your phone?
Oh. Only when I'm asleep, I think. It's awful. No, it is. It's awful. I get up first thing in the morning. I get up and it's the first thing I do.
It's a habit. It's just everyone's like that, kind of. Yeah.
And I hate it. I can't remember. No, I try really hard. I can't remember the last time I watched a video or TV show at home without looking at. I'm always looking at the cast and what else they've been in. So it's probably whenever I've been at a show or the theatre or something, for hours I can leave it like that. But I'm terrible, and I really wish I wasn't. But you know, I am on it constantly, and I really do hate myself for it. I've become, you know, when Facebook started years ago, people, you know, I was on it all the time, and people say, "God, you used it so much," and I think I'm quite mild compared to some people I know at the moment, but yeah, it's not good. I resisted it for years, and then my mother bought me, you know, she got a buy one get one free. You know, it wasn't even a smartphone, you know, and I'd resisted it for so long. But when I first got a smartphone, it's that was the slippery slope.
Right, but, yeah. It's not the end yet. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to give away some words, and you just tell me one thing that comes to your mind, okay? Quick thinking. Okay. Let's start with money.
Don't have enough.
Love.
Yes.
Family.
Difficult.
Sex.
Yes, please.
Life.
Fun.
Politics.
Depressing.
Religion.
Nothing.
Fear.
Being alone.
Friendship.
Absolutely important, imperative.
Desire.
Out of control.
Good one. I like it. Regrets.
Too many.
Wish.
I wish I was in better health.
Okay.
That's what I wish.
Let's pretend now I'm going to have coffee with your partner, and I'm going to ask your partner, define Jan in one positive word and one negative word only. What your partner will tell me.
I think positive would be integrity.
Okay.
You know, I don't have a side. What you see is absolutely what you get. And negative, it would probably be to do with my depression again. I mean, that's not my fault, but he finds it really hard, understandably really hard to cope when I'm in a bad mood or in a dark mood.
Okay.
Actually, it kind of related to that, but I think he'd say lack of self-confidence. He doesn't understand why I don't see in myself what he sees in me.
I see.
So it would be something like self-belief or confidence, something like that.
Okay. Now let's play Jan in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Okay. Okay, Jan, you can ask me a question now.
Okay. What would be your dream date?
Wow, very good question. No one asked me a question yet so far. My dream date. Wow. Like occasion or a person itself, like overall.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Okay.
What would be the idea?
Okay. I have an answer for you. I think for me, a dream date would be someone who, from the moment I see this person would behave exactly who this person is. Who wouldn't pretend to be anyone else, or just not to impress me, not in anything. Just to behave exactly the same who he is on his normal days. That would I would get very attractive. And that's fine. But thanks for the question. You made me think. You literally made me think about. Oh, I love the question. Okay, Jan. So, by the way, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for being so kind and to me. Actually, people around you, they are, as I said, you pass this very calmness. Like, my God, as I talk to you, you don't come across as someone like that's very nervous, or as you said about depression. You don't come across, and you don't pass this energy. For example, I don't know you, never met you before, but just talking to you, the first impression I have from you is a very calm person, very easygoing person. Of course, that all of us have our issues and everything, but as a first impression, I must say, like genuinely, I must say, you come across as a very calm and a genuine person. Okay, so I think your partner is right. Sometimes it's good for us to see us in the mirror and believe in us that we have something there. Sometimes it's easier for people outside that we don't see sometimes. Just people around us, they can see that we cannot sometimes. I understand.
And I have to say, London is better with your smile in it, because you do have a lovely smile.
Oh, now you're gonna make my day now. Oh my God, you make me shy. Now, should I just run away? I'm gonna run away, okay? You remember the conversation before?
You still can't take a compliment. But...
No, I'm gonna put my hat now. I'm gonna pat my hat like this. So, let's finish the interview like that, okay? Bye, Ian.
Okay. Bye.
Joking. Anyway, so before you go, Ian, if you just can share a positive quote, a positive message that you like to share.
Yeah. As we mentioned earlier, I just need to look this up because I wrote it down years ago. I'm not a religious person, but I was in New York years ago and I saw this on a church and it just really struck me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, all saints had a past and all sinners have a future. I mean, I guess that's from the Bible. I don't know, but
wow, that's amazing.
And again, as I said earlier, you know, I take people as they come. I don't care what they did before I knew them. You know,
Sure.
anything like that. All I care about is the moment and being with them now.
Sure.
And so I really like that one.
I like it as well. It's very interesting. It says a lot. I think at the end of the day, you know, at the end of the day, all of us, it doesn't matter. It could be like, you could behave the very there's no perfection, but it could be like the perfect. There's always something around there, your negative side as well.
Absolutely.
And I think we are all like that. Yeah. And again, when you accept it, when you know it, it's even, you know yourself. I know my issues. I know what makes me, you know, go in a very, you know, negative way. But when you know it, when you accept it, it's a positive thing, because at least you know when you accept it.
Absolutely.
Did you have a good time?
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah, good. Yeah. I'm glad to hear. And yeah, thanks so much for your time. And all the best, all the regards, okay? And we keep in touch.
I will. Bye for now.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.